And welcome back to the Off the Clock show. After a week of hiatus because I had no power here. We'll jump into that. You're joined with myself, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX, and we also have Marty Hill from the Pints and Polishing podcast, as well as hyperClean car care products and accessories. And you have some new products too that I want to ask you about coming up. But before we jump into all of that, man, yesterday was Memorial Day for you guys, so happy Memorial Day. And don't catch that in your eye.
Yeah, little speech.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll switch to voice only from now on. Sorry, he went blind. But yeah, what are we drinking today there?
This is, have you had, I can't remember if we talked about this before, Manzanita Soul?
Oh, never had it, no.
We hadn't talked about that? So no. This is a beverage that I used to get when I would go, in a former life, I would lead groups, and we went to Southeast Asia, which we talked about, and I led camps of teaching kids how to play sports and things like that. Then we would go, and this was the whole reason why I started mobile detailing, was so that then I could go journey and go travel. And one that we would go to on a regular basis was in Leon, Mexico, and it was a legit barrio. I mean, these people lived on the trash. They built homes out of whatever. I mean, it was extremely, extremely. It was one of the poorest places of Mexico, and we would go and help lead dental clinics.
Wow!
And so amazing, mostly it was pulling teeth. I mean, because their teeth were just rotten out, and you know, they would. I mean, it was miserable for them while they were there, but I mean, they were so thankful because 100%. They were going to be out of pain, and you know. Anyway, I wasn't meaning to chase down that rabbit, but this was a beverage we would always get there, and it's an apple soda. I mean, every year, and we would just drink them as much as we can. And I haven't been able to find it here in the States. And then a couple months ago, about a month ago, my wife found it we go to a Mexican grocery store here called Morelos. And
they have it.
And man, I'm telling you, man, it's incredible. It's just this like apple soda pop, but it's smooth. So mix it with a little tequila, and here we go, off the clock.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I'm gonna have to check that out. There's a store near us, La Tiendita. I gotta check that out and see. They've got stuff from all over the place, and it's kind of seasonal sometimes, stuff they get in. But I'll check and see. I think
I'm telling you, that's dangerous, man.
Yeah,
that is dangerous. You mix that with the tequila, man. That's trouble right there, because it's not like overly sweet. Don't think of it like an orange crush where it's just like it's a smooth apple like juice flavor.
That's what I was wondering, because with apple, sometimes it goes one or two ways. Like sometimes it's too sour or it's too sweet or something. So, that's a nice smooth right in the middle kind of. All right. I like it.
Yeah, I can drink again. Yes, yesterday was Memorial Day, but I didn't drink a lot. I didn't drink much this weekend. It was, we think it was Saturday. We think we had some bad hummus.
Oh, shoot, no way, man.
We stopped at, there's this little place I like. It's right on a river. It's called the Arkansas River, which through here is a big deal. And, you know, we had a lot of rain, so we got to see water. But normally where we're at, we don't really see a lot of water. It's pretty barren. Okay. And so we got to see water. So we sat out on this little deck and had some beers, ate some hummus. And, you know, hummus can go one of the two ways, and it went the bad way.
It went the bad way.
And,
man, sorry to hear that, man.
It went bad. Like, so Saturday was not, Sunday was not fun. The entire day on the couch, man, brutal. And so Monday was just kind of trying to wake up a little bit. You know, I did a little yard work, but dude, I really didn't do much. It was kind of one of those weekends you don't like, right? Like it just was you know.
Oh man, that's brutal, man. Sorry to hear, but hey, you're looking.
But I had electricity, dude. I can't be too bad, right? Like, I was a little sick, so I was like, you know, whatever. You know, I just kind of hung out, played video games, watched movies, and you know, just like blah. But at least I had electricity, man.
You just listed like 9 activities that I couldn't do this week.
Exactly.
Hung out, watched movies, played video games. There's literally, oh man, yeah. So we had a huge storm here. It's similar to a tornado, but without the tornado part, which sounds kind of weird. So it's
just high wind.
Yeah, it's called a derecho. So it's basically a bunch of microbursts, one after the other. I think there was 8 or 9 of them or something like that. It's kind of like chain storms. They're following each other. The problem with it is they're 120 kilometer, what would that be? Like, I don't know, 60, 80 miles per hour winds, one after the next, just, bombarding you. Imagine getting a thunderstorm that lasts, 15 to 20 minutes only, but it's everything from the storm compacted into 15, 20 minutes. And then you've got 8 of those back to back. So derecho in Spanish, it's like going straight. And that's what it does. It literally it went in a straight path, and anything in its path, man, it took it right out. I'm talking like telephone poles, broke them in half like they were toothpicks. And then we have these huge like metal transformers. They're probably, I don't know, 200 feet tall, and it bent them right over. And these things are like solid steel, reinforced, and they're built, engineered properly. So they're not supposed to fall down, and literally they were just bent over in the street, and then the wires broke apart now. And so there was live wires. Some people were trapped in their car for like 6-7 hours, couldn't get out. Like the streets flooded with water, and then you've got these live wires on the ground. What do you do, And they were issuing notices. They're like, if you find yourself in a situation, you have to get out and you have to do this like hop step thing. And the government, they put together these like animated videos what to do. And I'm thinking, who's going to see that? Like if you're trapped in your car and the cell towers are down, you have no electricity, your phone's dead, you can't watch that video. You know what I mean? It was nuts, man. But yeah, so all the fences around here, most of them destroyed. We only lost a tiny bit of like the part of our roof, like the fascia, nothing serious. And then, but we lost power. That's the part that sucked, so especially when, like trying to do stuff online and everything like that. And it was a mess, man. We were 7 days without, but we were out of town when the storm hit. And then by the time we came back, so I actually have a really funny, dumb moment that I had. Oh my God. So we bought a house, we're prepping this house for sale. And we got a call from the realtor, and he's like, hey, I know you're out of town. I know there was a storm and there's no power, but there's a couple that really wants to see the house. And I'm like, fuck, man, like we left for the weekend. Like we didn't like clean up the house or anything. We had an open house coming the next weekend, but we weren't planned for that. So he's like, can you make it happen? I'm like, oh my God, I'm out of town, like my kids, my family, everything. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm on my way. So I drove back. I woke up like 6:30 in the morning, drove back to prep the house by myself. I got to move all these moving boxes, everything. So I'm moving all this stuff, no power. And I swept the stairs, got it all into a nice little pile. I grab the vacuum, fucking undo the wire, plug it in, take it all the way downstairs, step on the thing to turn it on. Nothing. There's a huge mirror at the end of the hallway in the basement. And I was just looking up at myself in the darkness by myself because I left the wife and kids. And I was just looking, I'm like, you idiot. Like, are you serious? Anyway, it's one of those moments you're so used to electricity, right? Like,
but that's the bullshit of why people don't like selling houses, right?
Yeah.
Like it's such bullshit. Okay, I get it. They need to see it now, or is it you need to show it now because you want that commission? Like selling a house is usually, you're right, like fucking disaster. I remember I had little kids and we had just set them down for a nap.
Yeah.
Fucking knock on the door. Like,
jeez. And it's
what the hell are you doing here? No, it's by appointment. You don't.
Yeah. You don't just show
really,
up.
I mean, we really need to show this house.
Yeah.
My kids need to sleep, motherfucker. Like
exactly, like book time, open house, schedule appointment, So,
but if you want to sell the house,
it's kind of
you gotta show it.
Well, fuck, yeah,
you gotta show it.
You know, like,
yeah. Okay, let me get my kids up. Fucking bullshit. We put them in the car. Like, yeah,
it's brutal, man. Yeah, that's
brutal.
where I'm happy after this move. I said, like, I don't know. I think I'm done moving. I'm gonna die at the next place. Like, that's it. Or it'll just be purchase another one. Like I can't do the moving thing again. This is brutal. This is I don't know, all the boxes, but we're kind of minimalist in how we live, so we don't really have a lot of stuff, which is good. But still, man, like right now, like we got 3 floors in our house, and I've been up and down. I swear to God, man, like my knees right now, like all the trips up and down and up and down. Oh my God, can't take it. So once it's done, I'll be happy, But at
what
least
does that mean? You're a minimalist.
Oh, minimalist. So we don't really have a lot of stuff. Like so when we used to live in the Caribbean, we had almost nothing down there because you didn't really need too much stuff. It was just us. So we had like literally 4 plates, 4 cups, 4 forks, like not even joking. And that's what we had. And then anytime, you know, we didn't really have people over to our house. We more went out places and met people, you know, it went down to the beach, stuff like that. So we got kind of used to living like that, came back here, and man, we went through the house and we started having like panic attacks. I was like, why the fuck do I have 3 strainers? Like, am I opening a restaurant? What am I doing? So we just started giving stuff away. And so we went through the whole house, anything. And then we made this rule where it's, if we haven't used it in 6 months, then it's gone, no matter what. And on top of that, if it's something that we can replace in 20 minutes for under $20, it's gone. That's it. Like, we just don't keep stuff around. Like, and so, yeah, we don't have like a whole lot of stuff. Most things we have are just like artwork, like on the wall here, stuff like that. My laptop, that's really just my whole life right there. And the kids and the wife, you know, if I pack them up, then I'm good. But other than that, yeah, like it's, you know, people just collect things, you know.
Trust me, I get it, man. I get it. I always have to go through my garage and just start junking stuff more and more out. But it always, man, it is. We're a collection society in a sense.
It's true, yeah.
I'm with you. I did something that was kind of strange a couple years ago, but it was what I needed, right? I don't give a fuck what everybody else needed. I needed it. About a year and a half ago, I repainted the inside of my house. Not me personally. Trust me, I tried that one summer. My kids were home, and I was like, "Come on, let's do the whole. That's gonna be great." Like, no, like,
sucks.
Oh, it's fucking brutal. Fucking, we got done with part of the kitchen. And I went, I'm out. Like, we did a couple nights when they first got here because my kids come in for the summer and then they leave.
Nice.
And you know, the first couple of days we tried, and then like the last week we go, hey, shouldn't we? Like, we tried like maybe another 30 minutes. We're like, fuck it. Like, nah, we're out. I had somebody come in and paint. Like, yeah, no way. But after I was done painting and I pulled everything out, right? Because if you're painting the house, I mean, it's the whole inside. Like, you've got to take everything out, everything off. Like, everything, if it's going to stay in the room and it's too big, it's got to go to the middle of the room. They got to cover it. Like, painting a house on the inside of the house, a full interior paint's it's a big undertaking.
Big undertaking.
And afterwards I went, I kind of like not having all this stuff. I got
right when you start to see it, you know, you got all the open space, you know.
And that's exactly what I says. Like, I got some open space, I got some creativity, I got some, you know, it's almost like your mind doesn't get sidetracked with all the crap you got to be concerned about because you don't have anything to be concerned about. Like,
exactly.
It's kind of weird how that works for me, right?
I'm the same way though. I need the space. Like, when my dad comes to visit and he's like, oh my God, a table that's actually just empty. Like, all of our like tables, if there's a dresser somewhere, everything, it's just all the flat surfaces are empty. And we like that because then if you have to, you know, put something down for a second and then, you know, like tie your shoe, whatever, pick it back up, there's an empty table, or you want to sit down and, you know, do some work, or kids do homework. But then anytime we're done with something, it gets packed up and put away, you know. It's just, but like, man, I go to most people's houses, their table, holy shit, man. It's, oh, there we go. Wasn't calling anyone out. But yeah, it's just it's what happens, you know. Flat surfaces just become shelves, you know, wherever they are. But the minimalist life.
So part of it, I put my dresser. I no longer wanted my dresser in my bedroom because I'm that guy. I'm the guy that has everything on flat surfaces. Tables are a place to put a bunch of stuff. But I didn't want to see it, so I moved my dresser. And I had the only thing in my bedroom until my wife moved in was a bed. That's it.
That's perfect.
Like, my dresser, everything went into the closet, and I didn't. Nothing. It's kind of weird. I mean, kind of weird for a little bit. You had to get used to it a little, but I love the openness and nothing around. Yeah, like some people when they would come over, they'd be like, "Did you just move in?" I'm like, no, like 13 years ago." But
13 years ago.
Like,
for me, it took me a while to get used to, because it's one thing if you kind of like come to that collective decision, but my wife just one day was like, you know, we got to get rid of a bunch of stuff. And so she just did. And I was like, yeah, just free range it. You know, I trust her. So go ahead.
And then
afterwards, I was like, oh shit. I was like, you know, cause like even me, for example, like coffee, I used to have this problem where I would drink coffee out of a cup And when I wanted another coffee, I would take a brand new cup because I liked the fact that the cup was cold. I felt like the warm cup was altering the taste of the coffees. Anyway, I'm weird with coffee. Just leave me alone. But, you know, whatever. That's how I like my coffee. And so at the end of the day, there would be like, 12 cups or something lying around, but you couldn't take it anymore, rightfully so. Yeah. Yeah. So you seen any interesting posts lately?
Oh, yeah, no, I've been pretty AWOL from, yeah.
I guess with
yeah.
the hummus situation and
Yeah, I really didn't do much.
yeah.
I think, I think maybe the overall, maybe not interesting. I think there's multiple ones. I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's the economy that's causing it. I feel there's been a very major rift right now. I think there's a heavy division inside of the industry amongst detailers. I see so many, and you got it on TikTok, you got it on Facebook, you've got marketing managers from brands making public statements going, hey, detailers, I love you, but so, it's enough to where people are really noticing the amount of fighting going on inside of detailing. But what really did we all expect? I mean, times are that's why I say I think it's economy. Time's going to get tough. There's brands that have led people in the direction and a lot of which we've talked about, come on, there's no reason to beat dead horse over that. Yeah. But if your business model is headed in the direction of a only sustainable in a high economy time, then when the lower economy times, and we're hearing stuff like there's some industries and some businesses that are 50 to 60% down,
which is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you go, hey, I'm not there. Okay. Just imagine if you were 50% of your business gone
overnight.
That's tough. That's a tough you got to understand then there's some economic things going on that would cause business. And this isn't, where I have shortages. This is just, they're down 50 to 60%. So that's going to create some anxiety. That's going to create some animosity. That's going to create some unsureness of themselves and have to go onto platforms and express their opinions because inside they know that they're in trouble. There's a lot of people expressing their pointing the finger type of, and I was on a TikTok live where this is what was funny. It was people justifying the need for all their full correction status and, heavy multi-layer brand coatings, and said it was the $400 coatings that people were installing at $400 that was going to destroy the industry. And I mean, dude, they were as cheerleady, pompous, like so mad at everybody at $400. And it was like, God, I asked a couple questions. I didn't really, get into it too much with them because you can't tell those people. You can't. So I'm not there to fight. I'm just there to observe and ask some questions. And I think that's the biggest deal lately, Shawn. I really do. The amount of people that are having to now publicly say things on social media against other detailers, I think has reached an all-time high.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I've seen that too. Yeah. And I think that it reminds me of, so here in Ottawa, we had, whenever Uber had first, launched and everything, the taxi cab guys were vexed. And I mean, rightfully so to some degree. The city was forcing them to, they had to buy their plates, they got to spend all this money and this and that. And they were happy with the monopoly that they had on the situation. Then Uber came along and everybody was, up in arms. They wanted the city to ban the app and all this kind of stuff. They started protesting and they lined up all their cabs and they were driving down the road to try and, make a point and get them to stop Uber. they were really mad at the industry that was shifting, and they were taking it out on passengers, like people that were trying to get to work, people that were this and that. And, I understand the fear of, losing, like they were obviously losing the revenue to Uber, but a lot of them started to see the shift and they started to switch over, and they were like, well, if Uber is so great and people love it, why don't I take a look and see if maybe this makes sense for me to do? A lot of them found that they were making more money in Uber, so they just stopped running their cab, and then they went and did Uber instead. And I guess the point I'm trying to get is that change can be a really good thing if you take a look at it and you approach it a certain way. And I think that that's what's happening in the industry is a lot of people, they're resisting to it, and they're acting like the cab drivers, and they're saying, like, no, the $400 coating is going to destroy this and that and stuff. But if those guys are able to sell it at that price point and deliver a result that the customer's happy with, then like really they're not the problem.
Probably make more money.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Which isn't that what you're supposed to do as a business?
Yeah, absolutely. And as long as it's delivering the same results and stuff like that, then, or when I say the same, like maybe, because they're going to argue it's different. Okay, so let's say it's different. Let's just go with that. So why don't you provide that different result and start cashing in on the $400 jobs? Like I just, offer both if you want. But I think that that's the way to go, is you got to start approaching change that way. And I do see a lot of guys, digging their heels in, and they've kind of got stuck the same way that this is what I was told, this is how the industry was going to be. But when you say things, blanket statements like, oh, this is going to destroy the industry. So how's that possible? So what if, let's say tomorrow, a different product came in, let's say a meteorite falls from the sky and it's got some new material we've never seen before, and it makes it does everything perfect for the exterior of a car, and you don't have to, do ceramic coating. Let's say you don't even have to coat the car, some crazy chemical. Are we going to now go and say, oh no, like that's destroying the industry because I want to keep selling my ceramic coating that takes, 15 days to put on because it's got 27 layers and this and that. Like, is that the problem? Or is it maybe that you need to evolve with the times as well? Because, if it takes you a long time to do a coating, for example, and customers don't want to wait that time, maybe the price point's not even it. Maybe it's just the fact that the other product is faster to install. And so that's why the guy's charging less. It's not because it's an inferior product. It's because he doesn't have to spend his whole day doing what you're doing for it, So there's a lot of factors. I think it really comes down to the fact that, as we've talked about before, a lot of this industry is, low cost of entry, easy to get into. You don't need qualifications of any kind, really. So you can just jump in. But that means that there's a lot of people working in the industry that aren't true entrepreneurs or business people, and they haven't taken the time to, they're so focused on, I have to become a certified installer, but have you taken the time to become a certified business owner? Like, have you taken any business classes? Do you know how to do, even know how to do your own accounting? So when you hire an accountant, you can be knowledgeable about that process. Like, they haven't done those steps, but they'll fight you to death about the fact that you have to be certified with a plaque on the wall saying I can install this liquid on a car.
Strange, isn't it? It's fucking wild.
It's fucking wild.
Wild, strange.
Yeah. Which brings me to one question we were given, is that someone was asked when to stop offering things or how to know what to offer. And I think it falls in line a lot with this, where choosing the right products and the right chemicals and the right services to offer. It's a big question. I think people should ask themselves often. It's easy to think one direction, where it's like, okay, I do detailing, I really want to get into tinting or PPF. That's a natural course of action a lot of people go. But I think they also have to take a look at things and say, okay, maybe I'm losing money on doing interiors. Maybe I should cut that out. Or maybe you've woken up and you feel, I'm the best ceramic coater, I'm never touching an interior. There's a lot of people that have that mentality too. Some would argue
let's break this down into two. Let's get into that one, because that's a fun discussion. Let's go.
It is
part two on that. And the first one, let's go with, what was it? Do you ever take certain jobs, like whether or not they're gross or not? What do you guys turn work down? Do you ever turn work down?
Very rarely. The only times we've turned work down flat out is if there's bodily fluids of some kind. And we'll do it occasionally depending on what the scenario is. But we had one time a guy showed up and he literally had a pool of blood in his trunk, and it just wasn't a good look. So we recorded his info, and just in case the body turned up, you know what I mean, we did report it. But things like that, just sanitary reason wise. And our instructions usually, if there's, let's say, like vomit or something like that, is like, look, man, just like, we can do it. If you're gonna leave the car here for a while, it's gonna cost a lot because we got to take precautions to make sure no one gets sick, no one this and that. The best thing to do is do a pre-clean yourself and then bring it in. So we don't really turn away work, but we also don't get a lot of crazy stuff like that. If it's something, the car's just filthy, we just clean it. Like, that's, you know, like, honestly, our guys, they're so efficient at what they do, and we've got the right tools and the right process and the right chemicals that we can handle any kind of job. And whether it's super soiled or it's not that much different, to be honest. We still go through the same processes. It might add an extra 20, 30 minutes if it's been 10 years or something.
And this is funny. Would you rather, right? This is a fun game we started playing on the community pub, right? And you toss this back and forth. Would you rather do this or this? It literally, when you said that, it made me think of the discussion I had with my wife, who, as you know, she now owns her own home cleaning service. That's right, yeah. Right? And we were talking about a customer that she just picked up, and the customer had the most, she said it was cleaner than she didn't even know what to do. It was so clean. No way. Oh, I thought that was going the other direction. She said it still had carpet. The old lady still had carpet stripes. Like, you know, from the last time that she vacuumed, right? You know, those triangles that you get as you're going through and vacuuming a house, you know, you get those. Shit, yeah. But yeah, would you rather, this is where it becomes tricky. There's those customers that have those really, really clean cars. Yeah. And you go, why are you getting your car clean? But they think it's filthy. Yeah. And you go, God, I don't even know if I want to clean your car, because I don't know if I'm going to mess something up, because why the fuck are you getting your car clean? Like, exactly. What are you expecting? I can't wipe anything off. It's already clean. Yeah, exactly. Right? Or those dirty cars, like you're saying, and you know that they're absolutely going to love it. And you know, the result, you know, you got to do the same thing you do on a regular car anyway. You're still going to spray, you're still going to scrub, you're still going to extract. You just know that a lot of that's going to come out, and it's going to look amazing. That customer's going to be thrilled, right? Yeah. Like, which one you rather do? Reviews, in my opinion. Yeah, I almost really, really would rather do that dirty car, because it's also this personal satisfaction of what I'm doing. But then I know that customer's is going to rave about it.
It's true. Well, it's funny because we take a lot of volume and we take a lot of dirty cars. We take cars that other places have turned them away. They're like, oh yeah, they told me it was going to be, you know, $600 for my interior because it's caked on, and we'll do it for our regular price, and we'll just bang it out in an hour, hour and a half. And they're really happy. But we go in with the expectation too. We let them know, like, hey, listen, our standard package takes this long. It's not possible for us to get this back to showroom condition. But I tell you, compared to what it is now, it's going to be damn near close, and you're going to be over the moon. You know, that expectation is now set. If they say, you know what, I want it showroom, okay, well, it's going to take longer. It's going to cost X more. But most times they don't care. Like, they let their car get to that point. You know what I mean? They're not, like, their expectations are already.
Yeah, and that's sort of my answer to this guy that was saying, you know, do you turn away work? No, you make your money. Is what you do. You don't turn it away. You set the expectations. You charge them extra for it. They understand, and if they have a quabble about it, you go, listen, ma'am, it's how long, right? You probably should have asked that question in your original discussion with them when they talked about how dirty it was. Before you got to the price point, you should have already built that into your sales process and discussed with them how long they had let it go. And then you hit them with that again in your close about, listen, ma'am, it's been going on for 6 months. I mean, what did you expect?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like, put it back on them, let them answer it, make your money, but don't turn away the work. The only time to me answer the question, you know, have I ever turned away? The only time I remember was when I owned my car wash, and I took the customer's money. Like, fuck yeah, I don't care. You got 100%. Some dog shit? Cool, no problem. We'll get it out.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't just a little, and the guys came to me like, listen, man, you know, the amount of work that's going to take to clean this back, and like, you're absolutely right. Like, we're going to have to replace all the hoses, anything they extract. Like, it wasn't just a little.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole back of her little SUV she let this fucking dog live back there. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. How people drive around in that stuff, I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I don't know. But when you own a car wash, you meet and you
see
run
all
into
kinds of shit.
And we were a full scale detail shop. We were a premier detail shop. Like, so, you know,
Man.
So that was the only time I've ever, otherwise it's always, you know, you let them know up front. They're usually pretty happy to pay the extra and they're thrilled.
It's true.
I think customers that have dirty vehicles are some of the best customers.
I agree. And you know, a little golden nugget people could use is something we do where it's such an opportunity that's right in front of people's faces and they don't do it for some reason. When you ask them, because you're trying to find out how long this car's been sitting there dirty and just everyday things piling up. When you ask them, it's really easy just to say, when was the last time you had it detailed? Assuming they're a new customer that you don't usually deal with. And then the lead-in question is, where was the last place you went to? And they'll usually be like, oh, I used to go to such and such place, but I'm looking for somewhere new or something. It gives you that little bit of insight. Number one, you should know or be aware of at least some of your competitors' pricing, just so you know where you are in the marketplace, whether you're, you know, the higher end, middle, right on target, whatever it happens to be. But that gives you an idea when you're talking to them. If they said, yeah, I went, you know, 2 years ago to this other place, first off, you should know, like, oh, are they still in business? What do they usually charge? It gives you an idea of what you can charge this customer as well for that soiled vehicle. And then it also gives you the other insight of like, why aren't they going back to that other place? And you can ask them, be like, you know, why aren't you going there still or something like that later? Not initially, because it's going to probably, you know, lose the sale, but it gives you a little bit of insight into your market as well. So that's why I love the dirty cars, because it means that they're usually a first-time customer because our other ones are coming regularly. So they're a first-time customer. I can get some insight from other places, but then I can also, if it's, oh, I went 2 years ago, well, now I know the place they went to before, they charged $300 for interiors. So we can be like, okay, listen, because your car is soiled, it doesn't fall under this package. So it's going to be this as an upsell and whatever. You know approximately what kind of budget you're working with. So that kind of stuff, I find it helps a lot. But a lot of people miss out on those kind of questions. And this is the perfect time for that. You know, did you guys ever ask something like that at when you were doing the detailing there or no?
Yeah, we still do. Like I said, just this lady, like I let one slip
Whoa,
through
with
the
the
cracks,
dog,
you know, and I can't just, I don't even remember why. I remember going, wait, yeah, she said she had some poop. Stop, leave me alone, right? Like I was in the office, like
get it out,
punching away the keyboard or something. I don't remember. Like
they're like, no, it's a wheelbarrow full of shit.
Yeah, they're like, you need to come look at this. And I was like,
yeah. Oh man. Well, you know, that actually brings me to another thing though, is I see a lot of people, they almost get kind of upset with customers. They're like, oh, the guy told me it was, you know, not that bad. And now I see it and it's terrible. And it's like, so the whole thing is that your initial conversation with him as part of your sales process, like you said, Marty, is that it should factor in certain expectation talks so that when you show up and it does look different than you both talked about, now you just jump into your upsell. I would be happy if that happened. I'd be like, okay, listen, when we discussed on the phone, you had mentioned it would be like this. Like, you and I both know what we're looking at here. So listen, I'm going to take care of this for you. Not a problem. That's what you should lead into that. Be like, however, it is going to take me a little bit extra, or I can just ignore some of that stuff. We'll focus on the main things and, you know, life will go on. So that's a good way to run into that, because
you think that's what the flip side, right? The part two.
Yeah.
You think that's why? I wonder, why is it that people are trying to switch over, that they are an X tier only? There's so many, it's almost like it's a progression, right? Like you become then even more specialized and more niche, and inside of an already extremely niche market, you're uber niching yourself. No, there's no wrong way, right? Everybody gets to run their business the way they want to. There's no book. There's no blueprint. I know you got a book. I didn't mean it that way. But there's no book that's going to tell you the answer to this question, right? Like 100%. Philosophy of business, there's no answers. Yeah. You philosophize over it. You discuss it. You toss ideas back and forth. That's why the whole point of a community pub and a community is being able to toss ideas back and forth, right? That there's not some guy telling you this is the way you run your business. Oh, Corona's here. Shut your doors down. Go take a hike. No, that was bad information. Somebody's saying, here's how you have to run your business. No, business is open. So if it's so open, then why do you think that some detailers are wanting to pigeon themselves into exteriors only and away from the main majority of the market? Could be what we did. We literally just went through horror stories.
Yeah.
And cleaning interiors, you're absolutely right. You got a lot more horror stories than you do on the exterior, right? Like
100%.
You can get into some interiors, you're just like, God damn, like really? Like, wow, that's a lot of kids. Wow, your dog. How long did your dog live? The amount of pet hair, like you got some of those. True. You do. It's true.
Yeah. It's true.
You think it's the horror stories that keep people away into moving into exterior only, or is it the chase that I can do this paint correction, glossy shot, which I love, right? I love reflection shots. I love all the stuff that you can do on this. I'm an exterior guy, and this is part of what's interesting, right? Like I rarely touch interiors. Rarely. Most of my customers that contact me for our shop style. Now, our mobile, that's done every weekend type. I mean, we're small, right? We do some in the weeknights, but we're a small mobile service that's just we just maintain people's cars. It's the same people every week, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. You do the interiors, but it's not the dirty.
You're not dealing with the dirty.
It's just light interior work. So trust me, I do get it. Right? Like I do understand, because we don't do a lot of heavy interiors anymore.
It's true,
But it's kind of where we just evolved as a company. I've never made a stance. I've never said really like, hey, we're not doing, that's the way we evolve through our customers. So I'm curious, what do you think? Is it the horror stories? Is it I want to go into the glossy show and only do the, certain style of stuff?
Yeah, I think it's both. And I think it is the prestigiousness of, I only do exteriors and the glossy shots and stuff like that. It's just, it seems like cleaner work in a sense. It seems it's like, you're making the floor sparkle, but you're not cleaning the toilets kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like you're still doing janitorial duty, but it's just, I think it's seen as different. But I also think that there's a lot of ceramic companies that either only make ceramic, for example, or, coatings, or they make coatings, but their interior products suck. And so they push people more towards, exteriors are really pumping. That's where you should be. And I think what happens is it's kind of like a case of when you see a stock on the stock market exploding and then you buy into it, but it's already after the big moves have happened, right? So I think that's what's happening now, where a lot of these guys are, oh shit, I can't sell $4,000 coatings anymore. And it's like, well, not if you're only selling coatings. You know what I mean? But if you're doing interiors as well, that can be like the milk that, you sell it at cost, get people in the store, and then they're buying all this other shit. So that's where, doing the interiors can help. And if you don't want to do interiors, then don't hire somebody, but you should still offer it, because there's always going to be customers that want just an interior, or they want the full package more so than just the exterior, because there's a lot of people, they would rather, I've seen from experience at our shop, they would rather get their interior done professionally by us, and then they'll run that same car through the car wash, because they're like, no, I'll have the car wash take care of the exterior because it's $11, but you go deal with the interior because I had 12 cats living inside, so we do have that kind of stuff happen. That's our job now, to upsell them on the whole package, right? And so I think that the horror stories definitely scared some people, but I think it's the way to approach it. Like I've seen some posts recently, people talking about interiors. They're like, man, I'm tired of this. My knees are hurting and I don't want to do this. And the customer only wants to pay me this, like I'm some employee. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, they want to pay that like you're an employee, because it should be an employee. It shouldn't be you doing interiors forever. You should be hiring people to do that, So
oh no, we froze out again. Uh-oh. Damn Canadians messing with the power lines again.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, we're back. Hey, there we are.
Back. Yeah. It cut out as you were taking a sip, so I was like, he's either taking a really long sip.
Boy, it was good. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah, but So not sure where I cut out, but I definitely think that the horror stories are what's causing people to step away from that. And I think that people need to just take a look at what you want. And we've talked about that before, where what do you want out of your business? You know, like if you want more of something you don't have, let's say, okay, I want more customers, I need more customers. Well, a good way to do that is to add services that maybe you don't necessarily want to do, but that's where you can hire people to do those parts. But one word of caution I would have, if you're gonna, let's say you hire some detailers to work for your shop and you've never hired people before, they get burnt out a little differently than business owners do. Business owners, we have this drive to just like, we love it. It's our passion. Your employees, do not expect them to be sharing that same level of passion that you have for your own business. So a good way to do, to avoid burnout of your employees is to service rotate. So let's say you hire, 2 detailers and they're going to do some work. Don't always stick them on the same jobs. So this week, Joe's going to be doing interiors and Bobby's going to be doing exteriors. And that's all they do, because that way they're really efficient at it and they know what each task is. So Bobby's washing all the exteriors that come in and then prepping the cars for Joe to take the interiors. And then next week it flips. And then that way it's like a one week off, 1 week on kind of thing. They don't get burned out as fast. But yeah, those horror stories, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just people are built different, but me, I see those and I get excited. I'm like, man, that is perfect, because I think of all the things that we can upsell them on. I love the satisfaction they're going to see when it's, when it's done. You can visibly see the results, leads to better Google reviews, even better before and after pictures. Like if someone comes in and their car is already pretty clean, you can't even take a before and after picture. They're going to look identical almost, and that guy's definitely probably going to be a little more picky, I think, as well, than the other person, because they know the condition of their car, they know how they like to keep it. And but yeah, I think that the horror stories definitely are a problem, and I see a lot of people blaming customers, but you got to be honest with yourself in that the customer probably doesn't know how bad their car is. Like you see cars of all different levels every day, and you have an expectation in your head of what you want to do and what you want to charge. The customer, when you ask them, is it that bad? And they're like, no, it's not that bad, because you probably haven't even asked them what they think is wrong with the car. You're just like, oh fuck, I have to clean this and this and this and this. They may not even care if you clean the cup holders. They might be looking at this one stain on one seat that's driving them crazy, and they don't even care about any of the other shit. So that's where you can avoid a lot of those horror stories, because it might not be as bad as you think. The customer says it's not that bad, treat it like it's not that bad. Ask them, what 3 things could I fix in here that would make it awesome? He's going to tell you, and then fix them. That's it. But yeah, so like our shop, we've always added more services, but we've never removed services specifically unless there was some sort of an issue. Like we had remote starters we were doing, and then the guy that we were subcontracting out, he had some issues going on. So anyway, we pulled the plug on that for maybe 2 months, 3 months, found another couple guys, and now they're doing them on rotation. That's the only time we've really pulled stuff out, but we knew we don't want to do remote starters. There's a lot of things that can go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. It's electrical components. We don't want to pay for that stuff. So we basically just subcontract it out. You can do the same thing with the interiors, but that way you're still landing that customer. Find someone that loves doing interiors. There's people out there that love doing it. Fuck, we'll take them. Send them our way. We'll shine those babies up. But how about you? Is there any like services or jobs or something you'd turn away at your shop? Aside from the dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, just it's really just the feces stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll clean it up. Yeah, no issues.
Like bodily fluids, feces, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? And cause when Uber first launched here, we were getting a lot of vomit ones because Uber was paying for their like weekly cleanings and stuff like that. And so after Friday night, Saturday morning, rest assured. Yeah, and some of these guys,
if you had that many, I could see doing it, and you have an extractor that you designate
that only does. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Shit, that's a great idea. Actually, I had not even thought of that. Almost like a human waste decontamination zone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, use that one that's a little older that you're not going to miss, and
exactly.
It's still going to have to be a good one. It can't be that piece of shit one that's half broken.
No, you can't. or just go to Home Depot and rent one of those rug doctors, bring it back.
Brutal.
Totally kidding. I don't advocate for that.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh yeah, you do. Very true. Very true. So some new product lineups. One thing of yours I got to try. So my Rover right now, the front, we were doing a lot of trips back and forth, getting my generator and stuff when the power was out. I don't know what's happened here. We have these bugs. They're called mayflies, I think. Anyway, the front of my Rover is covered right now. Oh, it's so bad. But I left it alone on purpose because I want to test that new bug stuff. So
you get some?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'll have to ask Nick if he placed it. But
I can't remember.
I don't think so, you know. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna.
Oh, that's great. So the benefit of it, and this is why we love. I mean, listen, most people, if you got that's quote unquote a bug cleaner, you can't really say that somebody doesn't have a good bug cleaner. I mean, most bug cleaners clean bugs. That's their job, right?
That's their job, yeah.
A foam soap is going to foam in a foam cannon, right? Like it does its job, right? Like
its job.
What makes this one different? Why do we overbuild it? Why is it that makes it so significant? Is the pure fact, as I've cleaned so many cars and been responsible for cleaning so many cars, I know that in order to get a lot of the bugs off, you've got to put your chemical on a little bit hot. Usually bug cleaners have a lot of caustics in it. That heat, that caustic from a bug cleaner causes issues. And you go, great, I don't have any issues. I never had issues. Perfect. You're you.
Yeah.
You start getting into places where you got multiple people that don't always think always exactly like you, or you're the guy that doesn't want to have to think and doesn't want to be concerned. Like, that's the safest way of doing it. So we don't have caustics. All the caustics are gone. Is a polymer-based bug cleaner. You can put it this and was tested at an Infinity dealership on a brand new black Infinity, and I had to put my name down that said, if we damage this, I'll be the one that fixes it.
Right on, man. Yeah. So this
never had an issue. Never.
That's amazing.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's you spray it on. The chemical does its job. It's polymer based, so you have zero issues with damage. And the polymers actually help lift up, which is the same technology. Anybody that's been on waterless or rinseless, it's a similar set technology, which is why I love it even more. Anybody that's waterless or rinseless that has bugs around, this is a must-buy product because I can spray it on dry and then come over and do my rinseless process. And the bug cleaner is polymer based. It works with my waterless or rinseless system, especially if I'm using hyperClean Eco 1. And boom. I've got all polymers, no caustics, no issues, nothing going on in the ground, nothing bad. Everything is eco. Everything's great. Perfect. Everything's wonderful. Or maybe you're not that way and you're just a guy that loves to, you got to get cars clean. And it's a great bug cleaner, man.
Okay. That's why I'm going to test it then. I'm going to test the combination that you mentioned with the Eco 1. I'm going to test the two together because, so a good way to sell this then to a customer is an upsell. You know me, I love my upsells. So we do sell, bug removal now, obviously. But a good way to sell this would be the benefits to the environment, less water. We have a ton of water here in Canada, but people are still concerned about it because we understand, the environment we have is temporary unless we, take care of it, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I get that, but I don't think that's what most guys would use as an upsell. Water reduction. I don't think
so. No, but I meant like the environmentally friendly part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that would be the way to sell this?
I don't.
Or no? Okay. So what would be like? I gotta go.
You love upsells, but I don't think every product can be used as an upsell either. I think there's also some products you just need to put into your business because it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be easier for your guys to use. You have zero risk of plastic. Who hasn't seen a side mirror that's a black plastic that doesn't have you can see the spray mark and the streak. You can see it. That's a bug cleaner. You've seen windshields that it was maybe a little warm out and, whatever they used to spray on the windshield, it caused that streak. Like, you see them. I mean, I don't know that it's unless you're just going to upsell bug cleaning, but most people don't upsell bug cleaning. This is just a safer, easier. It just makes sense to use in your business.
We upsell it, but not for every car. because some cars it's a couple bugs, something like that.
If you're going to upsell on bugs, all right, use the bug cleaner. Use hyperClean bug, and then come back over with hyperClean slick and upsell them as a protectant, like, or put on hyperClean, the ceramic coating Uno, put it just on the front bumpers. And we used to do this all the time with sealants. You can sell summer bug packages that protect the customer's paint from bugs. You could definitely sell that and use Uno as an upsell. Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Because see, what we do right now is we sell, it's not just the bug removal on its own. So we do the bug removal and glass protectant. But now I'm liking what you said, where we could do that with the Uno and basically protect them. I like that. The summer bug package. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, my wheels are turning right now.
What?
I got to make a phone call.
$4 to $5, maybe $4 to $5 in cost, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to take much coating to put on the front bumper.
No,
and the front grill and the windshield. And it's not going to take much. Maybe $4 or $5. Maybe. Yeah.
And this sounds like a $49.99 upsell to me. Yeah. Just add that right on top. There you go. Boom. Summer bug package. I love it. Yeah. And then I'll do the winter mosquito package. And then but no, that's great, man. Yeah. And then so that one, okay, so I'm going to test that one out. And then there was one other one you had recently just before that. I wanted to ask you about that one too. I think that one might have been the one for the tires.
Fuego?
Maybe it was Fuego. There was two. I know it was two. No, it was the Fuego. It was the Fuego. Yeah, it's the TRX. Yeah. No, it wasn't that one. Yeah, because there was two that I had to put in our cart. But so there was the bug one and then the Fuego as well. Yeah. But I think we did get the Fuego actually.
I think so. And I think you got, for some reason, I think you got bug. But if not, we'll have to make sure we get some up to you. Yeah, Fuego's
have to make sure one of my guys didn't take it home.
Yeah, Fuego's fire. I mean, it is. Fuego's fire.
Yeah, quite literally. Well done. Yeah, I like it. No, that's good though. But
I love that. Cool. And all my TikToks, we got people putting it out on TikTok now, using Fuego on TikToks and showing everything. That's what I always put. Fuego is fire. But I use the emoji, the little.
Yeah, the fire emoji.
Like, Fuego's fire.
Fuego's fire.
I mean, you can't argue with it. You can't. Like,
you can. Fuego is fire. Yeah,
Fuego's fire.
It's in the name. Man, that's clever, man. Who comes up with the names?
Nick and I do. I mean, we usually go back and
shoot
forth.
Them back and forth. And then...
Yeah, we shoot them back and forth. Fuego is one that there's a couple of them where we both go, I'm thinking, and that was it. Like I had the name Fuego. He had the name Fuego. It literally took 5 seconds, and we go, that's it.
Man, that's fire, man.
That's fire.
See what I did there? No, that's wicked, man. Yeah. It's funny because naming products, I always wondered, so I've seen some companies that come up with names, and I'm just like, how the fuck did they come up with that? Like, why that name, But I always like when there's some sort of a story or a synergy behind it, kind of like that, like for me, I like, cars. Some cars, like they're named after,
dude, what about this? This is a name we're tossing back and forth, and I think we've already knocked it off the table, but let's close it out with this, right? We're getting this whole, right? We're going to get into, like you mentioned accessories earlier. We're getting into this. I mean, and they're really just some of the nicest, plushest towels, drying towels, as well as glass towels, body towels for coatings, for interiors. Like, we're diving heavy into, not just having a towel line, but we love the term overbuilt. So we've worked to get just the premier, right? They're plush. They're really, really nice. And one of them is this big giant drying towel, right? Like super popular. If you're going to have drying towels, everybody's got this big one, right?
Oh yeah.
So my name, and it's gotten vetoed now, but it's funny because I made a story this past weekend, and it wasn't comfortable to say, but it was really funny to say it at the same time. Did you ever see those shirts back in the day that were the Big Johnsons?
Yeah.
Right? Hilarious. The shirts were hilarious. It was always this scrawny little weird kid. And, it was all about the women that were around him loved Big Johnson. They loved his Big Johnson, right?
Yeah.
So that was the name I wanted to have for the towel. But like, if you got a truck, you better have a Big Johnson.
You better have a Big Johnson.
Right? Like my story was about I'm cleaning my wife's car. Does she really care if I have a Big Johnson? And like, no, but I do. This big towel, right? Like, I really thought it would be funny marketing, especially off of those shirts. I mean, you could play heavy on people's conscience.
Big time.
If you don't have a Big Johnson and you got a truck, you're fucking no, that's bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like you go after them heavy, but we think we're gonna back off of that name. We think so. So
yeah. I'm just picturing my staff now. Like go grab me a Big Johnson in the back.
Hey man, give me a Big Johnson. I mean, it's perfect. It really is because it makes everybody laugh. It's memorable, and it really does for people that are 30, 35 and up, probably. You maybe even. I mean, those Big Johnson shirts, they were a cult classic. I mean, they were hilarious. They were hilarious.
I still don't know if it should be vetoed though. I feel like keep that one on the table until something else comes up.
Nah, we did it this morning. Yeah, we did it this morning. We're like, it's just. Yeah.
You could do a special like anniversary edition.
Yeah.
Some Big Johnsons. Limited time only.
Get your Big Johnson here. Get your Big Johnson here.
Yeah. Jesus. That's the name of this episode then, the Big Johnson. Awesome, man. Well, listen, Marty, thanks a lot for your time, man. Good stuff. I got power now, so we'll be moving forward, consistently now, which is good. Awesome. So good stuff. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. Awesome.
Hey, bro.
Great chat. All right, see you.